Hey there, this is Dr. Pam Perry, Speakers Magazine show, and we're going to have a guest on, Jeanne Sparrow. She is fabulous, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her before she comes on, not to embarrass her or anything, but she has spent 3 decades as an award-winning 7-time winner of an Emmy, work in media, and she has reached over 500 million people. She has a wealth of experience as a respected speaker, trusted leader, but she has interviewed over her career some of the best people, some of the Hollywood stars. She has rolled with Steve Harvey and all of the people. She's out of Chicago, but she's talking about today fearless authenticity. And one of the things of how you can really speak so much better when you're doing this, really what they call authenticity, fearlessly. So I'm going to give you a little bit more about her right after this, and here she comes.
Are you ready to elevate your speaking career and be a part of a movement that amplifies Black voices? Speakers Magazine is your go-to resource, highlighting top speakers, industry insights, and strategies to take your platform to the next level. Subscribe today and unlock the blueprint for speaker success. Visit www.speakersmagazine.com, the #1 magazine for Black speakers. Subscribe now and start your journey to success. Amplify your voice. Subscribe today.
Hey there. Hey there. Thank you. You know, I'm nervous, right, Jeanne? I mean, you have been on the air for like 30 years. It's like, here I am interviewing Miss Jeanne Sparrow. So you're still on the radio too. You do
V103. Yeah.
V103 in Chicago, which is a major station. I will want to say a real shout out to Lana Thompson. I don't know if you know her.
She was my mentor when I first started in the business.
Mine too.
and her husband Abe were like my radio big brother and big sister.
Oh my God.
And I miss Lana so dearly, so dearly.
So she is actually the cousin of Portia Lockett, and we're from Detroit. So we were like the little sisters, and I'm hanging around with Portia to Lana, because Lana got us both really started out in radio, you know, Lana and Abe, right? And so I stayed in it for about 3 years. Portia was in it for about 12 years.
I remember Portia's name. Yeah.
Yes. So that was like her cousin best friend, right? And so that is it. And then Portia is now doing fabulous things and doing she was just there not too long ago. Lana and Abe's son, Phoenix, he just had a baby. So anyway,
look, I saw Phoenix. I ran into Abe and I was like, "Hi, is Phoenix a whole man?" Like I was not ready for him to be an entire man
with a baby. Yes, exactly.
This world is small, Miss Pam.
It is, and I said, I wonder if she knows Lana, because she passed so long ago, but it's like her mark that she left on the world just is really, it's still there. I mean,
I started my career at GCI, so at WGCI. So that's how I met Lana. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you have been, so give us a little backstory of your career, because people don't understand. People in broadcasting, when they first start out, they start out here and they're not making any money. Okay. They see it like later, like, oh, she's on doing this with Steve Harvey. It's like, but I'm doing it because you love it. And I tell people that when they're doing internships, like in college, like, oh, do you want to intern in broadcasting? You don't get paid.
Well, nowadays it's a little bit different. Nowadays they have different rules. I think they do get paid. There aren't as many internships though as a reason. I mean, I think I'm not going to say that's the reason for it, but I think that there are fewer of them because of, just times have changed. Times have changed and situations have changed and things like that. But I started my career when I was in high school in radio. I was on the speech and debate team.
There you go.
There was, and I'm from South Louisiana, and the nearby university, which at the time was called USL, but now it's UL Lafayette, University of Louisiana Lafayette. They had a really strong broadcast communication program. So our local, program directors would always look for talent amongst the high schoolers, thinking that they would end up staying for a while because they were going to school. I ended up going away and coming up here to Chicago to go to school at Northwestern because I wanted to, see something new, do something different. And that's how
you didn't know about them winners though at that time.
I did not. You should have seen, because I had family up here. They used to come by like, Chicago's cold. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I have a coat. It'll be fine. And my auntie who lived here saw my coat and she called my mama like Ethel May. She was like, Jeanne need a real coat. She need a real coat. And she was like, let me show you. Go open up, because this is back in the day. She was like, open up your Spiegel catalog and I'll show you the kind of coat to get Jeanne Marie.
Yes.
But so that's how I started in radio. Then that moved into television. And when I was politely invited to find my success elsewhere at my last show that I hosted, I had already gone to grad school and I'd already started doing more speaking, because you know, as well as anybody else, that when you are part of broadcasting, speaking, you know, emceeing and doing those kinds of things is part of your thing. I had no idea that was a career.
Yeah, being an
I had no idea how much money was involved.
Listen, or being a facilitator is also a career.
Moderating, facility. I do all, and I have always done all of those things. And half the time I've done them for free because it was for nonprofits and this and that and whatever. And part of my, you know, whole thing with the radio station and whatnot. So, you know, I had no reason to think that, you know, people got paid to do that. But so what happened is I started teaching in the program that was at Northwestern as in grad school, because I went back to Northwestern for grad school. And then when I started teaching that program, I started doing more like official consultations and things like that, the trainings and things like that. And so I started putting together a system, because I realized people didn't understand like how to talk, you know, like it was just like, and they also didn't understand how to talk about themselves, like what their value was, what, you know, that sort of thing. And I had and I had a business coach. Like I realized that most of the people were coming to me for help, because my business originally was like media training and presentation training and stuff like that. And that still is a part of what I do. But my business coach was like, you're giving stuff away again. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was just like, you've developed this system for people to get to where you are in terms of the way you communicate. She was like, that's where the money is, because it's a system, it's a framework. Yeah. And she was like, you need to write a book. And I was like, yeah, no, lady. And then she tricked me into it. She was like, listen, you don't have to write a book, but just humor me. And she was like, every time I see you, you always got a story about something. You always got whatever. She was like, write down a whole list just of the titles of the stories that you have that you tell people, whatever. Like, girl, by the time I was done, it was like 3 pages of just titles of stuff.
Wow.
Then she had me to write. She was like, okay, if you thought you might write a book of the things you know, put it in an outline, like it was a paper or something like that. So I did it. So then I go to the next meeting and she has printed out both of these things that I have emailed her, right? And she was like, oh, this is really good. Tell me the story and blah, 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 you know, whatever. And then she goes, okay, so you see this paper? Holding up the outline. She was like, and you see this paper? Holding up the book. She said, the story. She said, you put this with that, you match the stories to the different things, and you've got a book.
Oh my God. That was amazing. That was amazing. And I do think that people who write books, their signature book, it's what they talk about all the time. And they think that it is going to take a lot longer than it really does.
It depends. I think it really depends, you know? And my
it came out like
there we go. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and it's one of those things where, you know, the process is going to take what it's going to take for you, right? Because some people can write a book in little or no time, and other people it takes longer. But I think, you know, that when you focus on something that you have to share and you think about it in a logical way, then it all starts to fall into place. And if it's for you, Pam, you can't miss it. And when it is time, it is time, you know, and when it's not, it's not. Right. And so you have to kind of trust, you know, God's timing. You have to trust all the different things, all the intuition, your intuition, listening to your gut. You have to listen to all of those things and be part of all of those, you know, and be tuned into all of those things so that you can be in the right place at the right time for you. And that's really what it comes down to.
So do you teach people, you're teaching them about fearless authenticity and you're telling them about communication. Do you also tell them about how to pivot, like how to go from one career to another? Now yours was easy because it's all really in the same kind of realm because it's
I'm glad you see it. A lot of people don't understand that.
Oh, no,
you do so many different things. No, I do one thing really well.
One thing. It's
in a lot of different places.
It's speaking. It started with high school and speech and debate. Okay. Yeah. And then it just like went on into all the other different areas. So for you, it's easy, but for other people, do you help them figure out those little connected dots?
I help them understand how to figure it out for themselves. Because my book and my whole process, like what fearless authenticity is about at its core is understanding what your foundation is, right? Understanding what gifts you bring to the world, what value you have to offer other people. And when you know that, then you can see how it goes to different places. And, in the book, I talk more step by step about how to move from one thing to the other and how to see the opportunities and things like that. But once you know what you're great at and what you are here to do, your purpose starts to find you, and all the different ways, whatever that means and whatever that looks like. So, I always tell people, my book is like a roadmap for you to figure you out, to figure where you are and where you want to be and how to get from one place to the next. Because the reality is that once you accomplish one thing, you're probably not going to want to do that forever, and you're going to want to find the next thing, and you're going to find different ways to do different things. Oh, thank you for pulling that up for me.
Yes. I wanted people to actually get it. Just came out this year. Fearless authenticity, lead better, sell more. There's a word. There's that 4-letter word. A lot of people don't like to say or admit.
We could talk forever about how people can't stand it, but
oh my God, we have to.
I have a whole philosophy behind that word, but continue.
Speak, Sell, Shine is an event that I do once a year. I would like you to come.
I'd love to be part of it.
It's talking about not speaking because people are kind of versed and they feel like they got that or they can get a coach for that. And then the shining part, they all want to take the brand photos and all that. But the sell part, when you get them to want to pitch something, it's like a whole nother thing. So anyway, you talk about what is the secret to success, expressing your unique individual value and fearless authenticity. How we communicate, the words we say, how we say them has a profound power to change lives, form connections, and create communities. But many of us struggle to translate our ideas and values and dreams into words, which is what you've been doing your whole life. You love doing it. In Fearless Authenticity, Lead Better, Sell More, and Speak Sensationally. To speak sensationally, speaker, TV personality, and radio host Jeanne Sparrow provides a roadmap in what you're talking about to unlock your unique value, gain the courage and confidence. That's the big part of it, right? People don't have that, to connect authentically and fearlessly with your audience. The process begins with the mantra: be brave, be free, and be you. That's probably like something you say all the time, but fear authenticity. I love it. I love it. So I want to make sure that I put that up there so that everybody can see it. And
it is also available in audiobook, and I got to read my own book. So
what?
You will listen to me.
Good.
Yes, you will listen to me telling you the book. Yes.
It's not AI, right? You didn't.
Not at all. No, it's me. It is me. I went into a booth and recorded that, and it was amazing. It was an amazing process.
The book is actually, I want to get the publisher. Let me go back here again.
Diversion Books is the publisher. Yes.
And it's a division of, it's Diversion Books.
Diversion Books is an independent book publisher. It is distributed by Simon & Schuster.
Yes.
And it's amazing. It's been an interesting and long and windy journey to get here, but I'm here and it's out, and I'm ever so happy about it. The other mantra in my book is live it, tell it, sell it. So to your point,
come back and talk about that. Well,
that we can come back around and talk about that. But I call it fearless authenticity, and I want to make sure I say this to people. I call it fearless authenticity because, I talk about this in depth in the book, but we are often told, just be yourself. That's the best route to go. Like all of our parents told us that on the first day of school and all those things. But the reality is that being authentic every day, understanding who you are and what that value is, and fighting the temptation to try to imitate somebody else's success is really challenging. And it takes courage sometimes to be your best self, or even your worst self on your best day. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes a lot to do that. And that's the reason why I call it fearless, because you do have to have a certain amount of courage and a certain amount of, you know what, I might be scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because the world, just remember this, all of us are like puzzle pieces. If we don't do what we're supposed to be, the shape of our puzzle piece changes, and then we don't fit into the picture the way we're supposed to. And then that's the reason why you end up bouncing around trying to figure out why you aren't fitting in or you aren't doing it. Sometimes it's almost counterproductive to try to fit in, because when you do that, you're not only robbing yourself of the opportunity to do the thing that you are here to do, but you also rob the rest of us of the experience of whoever it is you are. And that's where you find your biggest success. Everything you need, you already have. God sent you here the way that you are supposed to be and the way you're supposed to move in the world, and put you on a path to discover that in all the different ways. And it will continue to change and morph, but who you are at your core is always going to be your foundation.
I always tell people that no matter what is the situation, probably what it is, your purpose, you're always doing it. You're always doing it. You did it as a child. You did it as you were always doing it. You would go back to it. If there was just like if you're in a room, you'll start thinking about whatever that one thing is. It's really that kind of thing, but people just override it because they're looking at what other people are doing or should be
what
doing.
I'm supposed to be
maybe
doing.
I should have went to law school, like such and such. I would be making more money. Maybe I should have went to medical school. I would be making a ton of money. And you don't even like blood.
The shoulda, woulda, couldas in our lives will bury you. Like, I wish the word should didn't exist, because it's so judgmental, and it's usually ourselves judging ourselves for what we think. It's like, yes, there are many things you can do. Like my mama wanted me to be a lawyer. She was like, anybody talk and argue as much as you do should be. But I was like, you don't want me in a courtroom. You really don't. You really don't. Nobody wants that.
Listen, at one point in time when I was in high school, I worked at a law library, and I thought that I wanted to be a lawyer because I was like, oh, that's a cool thing. People talk, whatever. And I worked in the law library at that thing, and I was shelving these books. I said, they got to read all these all the time? Oh, no. This ain't me. These books are boring. I don't want. I was like, I don't want to read these books. I was like, no, law school is not for me. I like the fact that, some of the people, they were just like, oh, we're a trial lawyer, whatever. But it was like, you don't see what I see. They're sitting down here reading all it. They piled up the books, and I was, oh no, that did not look. So really, one of the main things is you're trying to teach people how to articulate what it is that they have in their heart into words. And it is a matter of, it's not just media training, because people do need to know that. And it's not just giving a speech, but overall, how
it infuses your every single day. Because I don't think we realize sometimes, like, you hear a lot of people talking more now about manifesting and all these other things, but I don't think people realize that is what we do as humans. What you do today determines what your tomorrow is. What you wake up thinking about yourself, about your work, about your family, about everything determines how it comes out. There has never been a good day that started with you saying this is going to be a bad day.
That's true. Because what you think about, you bring about. I know that for sure.
100%.
What you bring about.
And a lot of people think it's all woo-woo or whatever. No, this is how the world works. This is how things work, because there's this saying, and the thing is, it's ancient. It's even older than the Bible, even though it's in there. There's an ancient philosopher, Lao Tse, I believe is how you say his name, but he said, be careful what you think, because what you think becomes what you say. What you say becomes what you do. What you do determines your habits, and your habits determine your character, and your character determines your destiny.
Yes. I love that. I didn't know who said that. I think I heard a preacher say that one time. I thought Creflo Dollar said it, but I didn't realize
Listen,
he's looking for
ancient,
somebody else.
girl, that is ancient. Like, it's been around since humans have been here, basically. And when you figure that part out, when you think about how the things that you think about yourself, and that's the reason why I start off with value and start off with people thinking about, in the book, it's like, this is chapter 2. That first section of the book is all about you thinking about who you really are, because a lot of people get to middle age and have fulfilled all the roles that they wanted to. And here's the thing, all of those choices you make, whether it's mother, wife, husband, daughter, some of the choices you choose, some of those roles you choose, and some of them you were born into. But whatever those roles are, a lot of times we start to identify ourselves more as those roles than the way that we do them, and how and who we are through those roles, right? There's nothing wrong with those roles, and there's nothing wrong with identifying with them. But the thing is that if we let those take over, why do you think people wake up and divorce their spouses after 30 years? The kids, after 30 years, the kids are out of the house, then they're with each other. They don't know who they are, much less who the other person is. And it's hard to work back your way to that. I get it. I've been the friend of too many divorcees to understate the importance of that. I've heard it, and I know the pain that's involved with it. I'm not minimizing it in any way. The reality, though, is that when you start to get in touch with you, how you do things differently than somebody else, what makes you special, because all of us are special in our own way. Once you know that, then it becomes less about searching and grasping and, falling over yourself to go find the next and chase the next new thing, when you let it come to you. Like, again, it sounds woo-woo, but it's the truth, and it's always worked.
It's the whole thing. It's like, whatever you're supposed to be doing it, you're always doing it. You're always doing it. I can remember from a young child being the person, not necessarily that had if we did a talent show, let's just say, I'm not the one that's really going to be the dancer, the singer, or playing the instrument. I'm the person that's drumming up the neighborhood to get everybody there. That was just fun for me. No one else wanted to go up to ask anybody to do anything. They didn't want to do a flyer. They didn't want to hand anything to anybody. I was like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to fill it up back here in this backyard, and people are going to charge. Literally, like, the Motown thing was big. It's like, we're gonna fill people up, because we're gonna tell them that you are like the next Diana Ross. Okay, whatever. We're gonna get people to come. And that was just like, I was the hype girl.
And now you still finding ways to do it now. Look at this whole magazine, like, and the whole system.
I do. I'm like the hype person. Yeah. So it's like, it no matter, we talked about Lana and Portia and that kind of thing. I was Portia's. I still am her hype girl. Okay. She's speaking and that kind of thing. I am the hype person. I was like, you got to get on the news. So she's on Fox News in Detroit once a month. You got to, she's writing for the Michigan Chronicle every month. I said, what's your article this month? It's like, that is it. I've always done it. So when I went to school, I thought, like, man, well, how does this go? Like, maybe I should just be a anchor person or something in the news. My mother wanted, you should be on the news. So I just remember I didn't like the news. I didn't want to do the news. It was depressing. I remember I was on the Wayne State University radio station, and Sadat had got shot. And I had to deliver the news, and I couldn't even say anything. All I just said was Sadat shot. They were like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I'm just too nervous. Like, somebody come take over. This is
too depressing for me.
This is too horrifying for me." I'm like, I can't do this. And so really, I went into more PR. So that was the thing. I didn't mind doing features.
I love features. And I love the story you're telling now, because it's the same thing I used to tell my interns all the time. It's a yes until it's a hard no. You didn't know that those things were a no for you until you tried it. But you listened to your gut and you said it. And too many times, I think, and then the other part of it is, and I talk about this in my talk, and I think I might even mention it in my book. My mama used to say, just because they make it in your size does not mean you have to put it on.
I know.
So just because you can do it and do it well doesn't mean that that's the thing you should be doing. you know? And so, and you discovered that. And I think all of us that get to a certain point of experience, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All of us that get to that point in our lives that are blessed enough to get there have that kind of story where we've tried something like, ooh, that's not quite right. You know, and you did it to get through, to get by, to get to the next thing. There's nothing wrong with that process. In fact, there's everything right about it, because sometimes it does take trial and error to figure out who you are and what you're good at and what feels good to you, because that's when you really start to shine and people start to see it and it becomes effortless for you. Yes, you're going to be working hard, but it's not going to be rowing a hard hoe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hoeing a hard row. Like, I come from farming people.
The fish that goes in the water and it's like, this is where I was supposed to be.
Yes,
and that
I like
is it. And even the magazine, I could do probably just a podcast, but it's a magazine that's printed because I have always loved magazines, like Jet Magazine, Coming to the House, Emmy Magazine. I think I still have some of those magazines over there. I just collect them and I cannot get rid of them. Even when I try, it's like, ooh, I want that back.
Girl, we had an older cousin in our family, cousin 03. You would go in her house and she had stacks of Jets. Up to here.
I came every week.
Emmys. She was like, we not getting rid of that. No, But we always say, you always need something. Exactly. You always need something to read.
Who does a magazine every week? It was printed in our homes every week.
Yep. And here's the other part. If you got in Jet Magazine, like my grandfather was in Jet Magazine one time, we was like, girl, we still got the copy of that Jet. Baby, when you got in Jet or in the Defender or in Ebony, baby, you had made it in Black America, okay?
That is it. My grandmother said that we got married, me and my husband got married over 30 years ago, and we got in the Detroit Free Press. Detroit Free Press is big, right?
Oh, baby.
And so my grandmother goes, she said, yeah. She said, but I can't even say, she said, but you ain't in the Jet. I was like, but grandma, it's in the Free Press. She was like, it ain't in the Jet. I was like, oh, I was like,
she was like, Pamela, Ann, let me tell you something.
You realize the Free Press at that point had 1.2 million subscribers.
It ain't the Jet.
Oh, it ain't the Jet. I was like, okay. And so that has always been with me. So that is it. And I want people to understand, if you're a speaker and you said, well, I need to speak on DI, that's popular now. Well, it's not popular now, but it used to be popular in 2020. And I'm gonna speak on this. And you never spoke on that before. You're trying to pick signature topics because you think they're popular, and you don't deliver it with any passion. And that's
you chasing trends. You chasing trends. And it's like, it's better to set a trend than to chase one. It's better to be out of style. You know what I'm saying? It's because when you out, because everything that's out will be in again at some point in time. It's just in a different way. And it really is about shaping your message so that it reaches the people it's supposed to, because you got your audience. Your people are out there. And when you stay true to that, people pick up on it and they resonate with it. It's just about finding that right way of selling it. To your point, it is about understanding what the market needs and how to deliver what you are good at, your expertise, to what the market needs and matching it. But everybody needs some of something sometime.
Yeah. And the thing what you just said is that find your people.
Yes.
Okay. Find your people or find your tribe,
and let them find you. Put yourself out there. There is a woman who is a venture capital. She's a Black woman. And I believe she's also gay, but she said, be yourself so that people who are looking for you can find you. And she started her firm specifically because of how so many startups are underfunded when they're women founded, Black founded, or on the LGBT. Her name is Arlen Hamilton.
Arlen. Yes. She was on Jerry Shepherd's show.
Yep. And she is like, I followed her on Twitter before I met her at a conference, and she is humble, but dynamic and brilliant and committed. And that's what you really need to know and have to be able to get to where you want to be. But when she said that, it affirmed for me, because I had already started writing my book at that point. And I told her about it. And she said, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Because she was homeless at one point.
Yes, she was. She ended up actually when I sent her the manuscript and all that other stuff before the book came out, she ended up writing a blurb for me because she was like, yep, anybody that's telling people to be themselves to find their success, 100%. She was like, because you have to believe in yourself to get there. And she was partially was homeless because she was leaning into her own self and what she was committed to doing. And she was so committed to doing it that she was like, okay, I'm gonna get through this. And she did. That woman is brilliant.
Wow. Yeah, that's one of those stories where it's just like, you know what, just say the course. If you really, really believe it, God told you, keep going, and just trust the process. It's gonna be a process. It ain't gonna be all easy. Think about Abe. Abe had radio stations back in the 80s, right? That was not easy for a Black man to have some radio stations.
And let me tell you something. Abe gave me the best advice. He was technically my first agent. Because he was like, Jeanne, you don't need to be going in Marv's office by yourself. Marv Dyson, who was my boss, he was like, you don't need to be going in Marv's office by yourself. Let me handle this. And he went in, he even told me, he said, Jeanne, remember, he was like, you really want a contract? He said, but remember, a contract limits you as much as it does protect you. He said, so think about that anytime you want to have a contract or do that, about that you are committing to something as much as you are being protected. And he taught me so much about business in those moments that I tapped into later, him and Lana. And it's like, all of us need to keep doing that for the other people in our own lives. Like, that's the part of the reason why you should be speaking to somebody sometime about something that you know. If you know something, tell it. Yeah. Tell it. Don't gatekeep it.
That's it. If Vashti McKenzie, she talks about that. If you see it, say it, you know, and tell it. That's one of the main things. I love her too. She's like one of the pioneer first women bishops in the AME church, you know, so you know, she was a trailblazer, and she's written like a gazillion books and that sort of thing, and she's not slowing down. So let's think about us baby boomers. We're not slowing down. We're kind of like, we're just hitting our prime. We're just hitting our prime of writing books,
you know,
podcasts, and
having wisdom and getting there. Now we are reaping the benefits of that kind of thing. Like, I'm right behind you as a Gen Xer, and we are aging a little bit differently too. But you know what?
Gen Xers are the smaller group. They call you guys the silent generation because
they don't call us silent. No, I think the silent generation was before that, but we're similar to them because people be ignoring us all the time. That's why we X.
That's because the millennials just took over. It was just like, oh my God. But now they're coming up behind the Y's. So anyway, it's a whole nother thing about, do you know, it's one person in Chicago that I love that came from Detroit, Amy Hilliard.
I do know her. I know of her. I don't know her.
Yes, she's from Chicago as well. But I mean, she's from Detroit, but she lives in Chicago now. But she has another thing where what she's always done, she's teaching now, I think, marketing and that sort of thing. She used to do marketing for Burrell. She had her own comfort cakes, and always marketing. That was her thing. So now she's teaching marketing and that kind of
thing. I love it. I
love
it.
Yeah.
Everybody, with each one teach one. That's what they told us back in the day.
They did.
Keep doing it.
Keep doing it. Well, thank you so much. You know, Jeanne, I put your website up there, JeanneSparrow.com.
Thank you so much.
They could go there, get the book, book you to facilitate, to MC, to train, to coach. I'm gonna get you a Speak Shine next year to speak. Yes, because that's one of the things that I was really attracted to what you were doing. I didn't even know we knew a lot of people in the same circle.
I love that. When I saw that 248 number come up, I was like, oh wait, I gotta know her some kind of way. I was like, because it's right down the road, and I got family in Detroit too. So I was like,
and I'll be there in Chicago in October at the Women Elevating Women Conference.
Love
it. This is coming up in Chicago here.
Nice.
So I will make sure that you know about this, and I want you to come as my guest. Okay. So I'll make sure that you come there. Yeah, it's really, really good. It's going to be in downtown at the West End.
Oh, I love that. I love the title, Women Elevating Women. We all need to be helping each other and keep climbing up, because we cannot do it by ourselves.
She says, iron sharpens iron. We build a community of bold women. So these are some of your people. You're going to see them.
Amen. I love that. I love that. What's that saying that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
That's it. That is it. And I'm trying to to do my little production thing over here. I don't know how you all do this when you're doing everything, because it's like, okay, I'm all involved in the conversation here. It's like, okay, I got to get my outro together or that kind of thing. So yeah, so let me get my outro. Yeah. This is funny because I'm so excited because I'm just like, oh my God, I just really, really love you. And you're just as cute as a button.
Oh,
I
thank you.
love
You
those
too. And listen, all I have to say is, where did you find earrings to exactly match your blouse?
You know, I'm the earring girl. I'm the earring girl.
It's like at first I thought the earrings. At first I was like, the earrings, her collar's moving funny. Then I realized, no, the earrings exactly match the shirt.
Will find earrings and then find the outfit. Okay, that's how I go.
You are a gift. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you having me on, and becoming part of your community, and you becoming part of mine. I love that. And it sounds like we already connected on a whole bunch of different levels.
Yes, and I'm gonna see you soon. I'm gonna get off of this and I'm gonna call Portia right now and say, look who we were talking about, Lon and Abe. So yeah, so in Phoenix. So yeah, so we'll talk soon. But thank you so much for joining Speakers Magazine. This has been really good. You feel like family. So thank you so much.
My sweet. Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work.
I will do my best.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.